An Alberta judge quashes a Separatist petition.
We're not at all surprised. We're going to appeal.
The Premier says the province will too. So what does it mean for a fall referendum? Plus, one step closer to a West Coast pipeline.
We want to work with the government of Alberta and have constructive relationships.
Ottawa agrees to slow the growth in the price of carbon significantly. And getting your hands dirty.
People are struggling with affordability.
To save a little money. More Albertans growing their own fruits and veggies.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. An Alberta judge has thrown out the Separatist petition, saying the provincial government failed in its duty to consult with First Nations. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says she disagrees with that ruling.
But I can tell you on this case in particular, this judgment, we think that there has been an error in law, which is why we're going to be appealing it. And we think it's anti-democratic. We want to make sure that that citizens who participate in good faith in this process have an expectation that the Elections Alberta is going to validate their signatures.
Tyler Barrow's following this for us tonight. So Tyler, what else can you tell us about this decision?
Tara, the judge decided that Alberta's succession from Canada will have an impact on Treaties 7 and 8, and therefore she sided with the First Nations, which include Athabasca Chippewa First Nation, Blood Tribe, Piikani Nation, and Siksika Nation. She added the bill the Premier passed in December to amend the citizen-initiated referendum process required a duty to consult them, but that didn't happen. On top of that, the judge said the separation petition should never have been issued because the Elections Alberta Chief Electoral Officer made an error in law approving the second Separatist petition. Premier Danielle Smith said her government will review the decision. The lawyer for the Alberta Prosperity Project says he's been given instruction to appeal.
There's no articulation in this decision how it is that putting down signatures on a petition and then having these signatures counted and put forward to the Premier or the cabinet for consideration offends any treaty right. Nobody's right to hunt was infringed while signatures were being gathered.
The First Nations are essential to the founding of this nation. The treaties were entered into before Alberta ever existed, and the Alberta government cannot move forward with any kind of process that would see Alberta separate from Canada without first sitting down with the treaty parties and hearing what they have to say.
Elections Alberta says it respects the court ruling. Its Deputy Chief Electoral Officer has said it is too early to determine what Elections Alberta will do next. Tara?
Okay, Tyler, thank you. Elections Alberta says the Centurion Project may not have shared its full list of people who accessed its database as ordered by a judge. The Separatist group is accused of illegally using Alberta's voter list. Now Elections Alberta is hoping those involved, including one of its leaders, will comply with a court injunction or face legal consequences. Tyson Fedor reports.
Elections Alberta says the man at the center of a massive public data leak is not cooperating with its investigation. The agency says a voting list of names and addresses of 3 million Albertans was illegally obtained by a group bent on Alberta separation.
This is a really important and critical matter. And we understand how important it is for Albertans to have it dealt with swiftly.
David Parker, one of the leaders of the Centurion Project, is accused of using the voter list to create an app. In doing so, Elections Alberta says the privacy of millions of Albertans was breached. They also say Parker is not complying with signing off on a declaration that he will cease and desist with respect to using that list. Parker says he will not be forced into a, quote, unconstitutional trap. His lawyer says in a statement that the state is attempting to use civil proceedings to compel sworn evidence while an investigation is underway.
Let's remember that the Centurion Project is responsible for the unauthorized misuse of the list of electors. And we're doing everything within our powers to try and monitor where that information may have gone.
Elections Alberta is pursuing Parker through court to be held in contempt. More than 500 cease and desist letters were sent by the agency. Anyone caught in violation could face fines of up to $100,000 or up to a year in jail. Calgarians say they are not pleased by this data breach.
It's a concern. Nobody wants to have their, personal information, whether it's medical or anything else that's privileged or private, taken away from them.
It's unsafe for anybody to have public information out there on yourself is very scary.
It's disturbing and makes you feel a little bit vulnerable.
Alberta's official opposition is now blaming the Premier's leadership for the breach.
She is so weak because she is so scared of the Separatists. She is so scared of her own friends that she won't even lift a finger to say, hey, you ought not to be threatening the lives of people.
And Tyson joins us now. Tyson, David Parker already faces several fines from Elections Alberta.
And Tara, most of those have already been sent to debt collection. Last year, Elections Alberta fined the political activist group Take Back Alberta $120,000 for breaching electoral rules. And that, of course, that group is spearheaded by Parker himself. Elections Alberta said that they were fined for breaching electoral financing rules, which included knowingly making false statements on financial reports. Elections Alberta does say on its website that one of those fines has been put forward to Crown prosecutors to move that case forward. At this point, Tara, this is an ongoing investigation by Elections Alberta as well, so these decisions will come out in the coming weeks.
Okay, Tyson, thank you. CTV News has learned the federal and Alberta governments have finally come to an agreement on carbon pricing, potentially paving the way for a new pipeline to the West Coast. Industrial emissions have been a sticking point in November's Memorandum of Understanding, but the two sides have reportedly come to terms. Tim Brooke has more on what it means both economically and environmentally.
He was not saying much heading into a cabinet meeting Wednesday, but sources tell CTV News Prime Minister Mark Carney was just minutes away from briefing his team on a new agreement with Alberta.
Minister, are you willing to allow a new pipeline without carbon capture and storage, sir?
Those sources say Carney will be in Calgary Friday to announce a deal on industrial carbon pricing. That is largely seen as the last puzzle piece in a wide-ranging memorandum of understanding that will likely lead to a new bitumen pipeline to the West Coast.
At some future point when the project is submitted for consideration in June, then the formal consultation process begins.
The deal is centered around a $130 a ton carbon price by 2040. That's $40 lower and 10 years slower than what was originally proposed.
With enough time, enough advance warning, we can prepare and we can still be competitive, and we'll still have a great opportunity for industrial development in this province.
Business is happy. Environmentalists are anything but.
The idea of a $130 ton carbon price by 2030 or 2040 effectively guts Canada's most important and last-standing climate policy.
2030 is viewed as the threshold to kickstart massive decarbonization projects and help Canada meet emissions reduction targets. The new agreement could kibosh those plans.
Ultimately, with this decision, the federal government has basically turned the system into a permission slip for polluters to keep polluting for another decade and a half.
And next door, there are other concerns. BC's Premier believes it's special treatment for those who rebel.
If we have a federal carbon price of $170 and Alberta has a federal carbon price of $130, that is part of the components that a project proponent will consider in deciding where to move forward.
The lone Liberal MP in Calgary says all parties can be happy, but it will take balance and even more dialogue.
This is a pragmatic government, and it's a government that wants to work with people from all walks of life. And that involves engagement. That means talking to people that maybe you didn't have constructive relationships in the past.
Tim joins us from McDougall Centre tonight. Tim, there are still questions around this MOU.
Well, yes, keep in mind this carbon pricing element that is supposedly agreed to right now is just one part of this larger agreement. There are still a lot of unknowns around things like the large carbon capture project pathways, as well as around the pipeline, specifically a route and the timing. Of course, though, as our viewers know, the largest unanswered question remains, will a private proponent step up and take control of that pipeline? We're not expecting to get a specific answer to that question on Friday, but we are hoping to get a little bit more information about this entire project when the Prime Minister is in town later this week. And then, Tara, after that, we're expecting information about this MOU and next steps to really start flowing freely once the province tables its proposal next month.
Tim Brooke reporting. Tim, thank you. We have breaking news in the Northeast tonight. A child was rushed to hospital after being struck by a pickup. It happened on Castle Ridge Drive just before 4:30. Police say the child was conscious at the scene. Firefighters did an initial assessment and then EMS arrived and rushed the young victim to the Children's Hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the vehicle remained on the scene. Police say traffic delays are expected in the area as they investigate. Calgary police continue to search for suspects in a Northeast shooting that left a man dead and an innocent bystander in hospital. The police chief calls Monday's deadly shooting in the North Hill Co-op parking lot a major concern. Investigators say the man who was killed was targeted, but they say that second person was caught in the gunfire. Despite his wounds, he is in stable condition.
It's a major public safety risk, and these individuals are brazen. They do not have any regard for public safety, and we are doing our best to ensure that we arrest and charge those individuals responsible.
Police say 2 gunmen were involved, but they have not provided a description of them. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. Officers hit the streets through downtown, the East Village near Chinook Centre, and in Forest Lawn today. Those areas have been identified as hot spots for crime and social disorder. Police are connecting people who need help with proper social support groups, and they're on the lookout for bylaw infractions and crime. Through the morning, officers issued 20 court summons, 8 warrants, and 16 referrals to community agencies. Today marks the 3rd effort of Operation Order, following sweeps in November and in February. 4 people are in critical condition after a charter bus crashed in northern Alberta this morning. The bus was carrying oil and gas workers to Grand Prairie when it veered off the road and into a ditch near Beaver Lodge. Police say a number of people were taken to hospital, some with serious injuries. 17 people were on board at the time. RCMP say they are not looking at speed, alcohol, or weather as factors.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
People who live near Whitecourt will not be able to return to their homes just yet. The wildfire that forced dozens out of their homes is being held. Emergency crews are now doing safety assessments. They're looking at road conditions and damage to property. County staff are contacting property owners directly with updates. The county says crews are also developing a phased re-entry plan. That will likely happen over several days. They say it can only happen once the evacuation area has been deemed safe. In Calgary, a fire broke out in Nose Creek Park near Coventry Hills Northeast last night. It scorched about 1.5 hectares before fire crews were able to put it out. They then soaked the grass to prevent any flare-ups. Well, before you start watering your backyard, a watering schedule, there has been a new calendar in effect this year. This is part of the recently passed water efficiency plan as a way to reduce water usage in our city. It applies only to watering your lawn or landscape with a sprinkler or automatic irrigation. Homes with even street addresses can water on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from midnight to 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. to midnight. Homes with odd addresses can water same times, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. The city says the schedule helps not just the system, but your lawn too.
A lawn and landscape schedule, by contrast, is really there to help us make sure we're watering wisely every day by taking turns and making sure we're not putting extra pressure and watering the same day. It also helps make sure that people are watering in the cooler hours of the evenings, the early mornings, or the overnight period. And that's not just helpful for our system, that's also helpful for your grass.
Failing to follow this could eventually lead to a $200 fine, but the bylaw team will be educating first. This does not impact other backyard activities like hand watering your garden, watering new trees, filling a pool, or letting your kids run through the sprinkler. More Calgarians are digging into ways to cut food costs, including growing some of their own. Alicia Philberg looks at the budding trend and how to make gardening go the distance for your budget.
A homegrown solution to high grocery prices is impacting sales at this garden center.
When groceries go up, people start to grow their own food for sure. I'm hearing that in BC, where they're much further ahead, that people are going crazy. Almost like COVID years. Bang for your buck is seeds.
Seed sales are strong here, and a lot more green thumbs seem to be popping up.
We've got a long waiting list this year. We've never had it like that before.
Starting costs can add up, so when gardening to save money, start small, choose what grows well in your area, and plant what you'll actually eat, especially high-yield crops like tomatoes, greens, and zucchini.
Probably still cheaper to go to the grocery store at times,
But there's certain things like potatoes and carrots that'll store quite well, and we'll still have them in December.
Leeks are so expensive in the market. We grow garlic.
You can even get your hands dirty and take home some of the harvest for free through a Calgary nonprofit that converts vacant urban lots into communal growing spaces.
Anybody can join. There's no minimum time commitments, and we grow everything together and we share everything together.
Families are expected to spend nearly $1,000 more on groceries this year, according to Canada's food price report. And rising fuel surcharges to transport food could drive prices up further.
There's more and more people skipping meals for their kids. So, from a purely practical point of view, access to food and in a cost-effective way has never been more important.
Aside from the value of what you grow, the act of planting itself is priceless.
Slowing down, taking time. Honestly, it's like a respite.
Definitely happier being out here than being inside.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
This would be a lovely evening to poke around in the garden.
It would. And you know what? When you poke around in the garden, you need rain. And we have lots of it to come. Unfortunately, a good amount falling on your long weekend. I'll have the long weekend forecast in just a little bit. But first, let's just focus on right now. We got to 23 earlier today. That was our high. We're now at 22. The clouds, we had a lot of clouds today, and it was certainly gusty today. Here's a look at the system rolling in. Severe thunderstorms rolling up the Saskatchewan border. We're going to have rain in the city, but most of that will fall in the overnight hours, picking up about anywhere from 3 to 5 millimeters of rain in the city for tonight. The gusts will also pick up, so from 50-kilometer-per-hour gusts tonight to 70 for tomorrow. More details in your long weekend forecast coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. 500 new teachers are coming to Calgary classrooms. The province confirms the money has been set aside to start tackling classroom complexities. And how are you feeling these days? A new Stats Canada survey suggests Albertans aren't all that happy with life. We'll explain. The Alberta government is setting aside money to hire 1,400 teachers for the next school year. The additional $200 million was announced in the budget earlier this year, and it follows a review of classroom sizes right across the province. It will be used to hire teachers in kindergarten through to grade 9. In Calgary schools, more than 500 teachers will be hired.
We need to make sure that any measures by government that are aimed to address complexity and class sizes are being maintained through the next several years. The problems are not going to be solved by a magic band-aid of funding for 1 year and then have that band-aid taken away the years after that.
More than 90,000 new students have joined schools in Alberta over the last 4 years. A recent survey from Statistics Canada says Albertans are the most unsatisfied people in the country when it comes to quality of life. CTV's Curtis Goodrum takes a look at why that might be.
Come here! The dog park, a place where many go to relax. Some Albertans say just taking their dog for a walk improves their quality of life.
I feel like in the summer it's beautiful here. There's so much room to take our dogs out and stuff.
Others feel financial pressure is leaving them unsatisfied.
With what's been going on in the economy and just a lot of tough financial hardships that I've seen among friends and other people.
According to a recent Statistics Canada survey, Alberta has the fewest highly satisfied people in the country at 38.1%. It also has the highest number of least satisfied people at 29.1%. University of Alberta sociology professor Michelle Morado says she can see why some people feel displeased in our province. It's mainly due to finances.
Alberta is a very rich province, but we're also an unequal province. So there's some people who are doing really well and other people who aren't doing as well.
According to Morado, people generally tend to look for hope in the future, which she says is something some are losing sight of.
I think there is less hope for what's going to come next and what people's futures are going to be looking like.
Statistics Canada says while the data is nuanced, it does help paint a picture of many Albertans' experience.
The data don't really tell us specifically about sadness or happiness or anything like that. It's more that we're seeing a larger percentage of people that rate that really high percentage of 8, 9, or 10. In some of the other provinces.
Still, some Albertans depend on their pets for a welcome distraction.
And I would definitely say this is my happy place, and she's always happy to come here.
Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
This is CTV News Calgary.
My happy place is walking my dogs too, so I better do it tonight or I'm going to get soaked the next few days.
Yeah, I mean, overnight tonight is when we're looking at a good bulk of rain for the city. And then the next bulk of rain arrives on long weekend. And it may even be combined on Saturday night and early Sunday morning with some wet snow. Oh my goodness, I said it. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about daytime highs because we're going to have to say goodbye to these hot temperatures. Yesterday was hot and sunny and the winds were calm. Today we still had the heat like we talked about, but we had a lot of cloud cover and the winds certainly picked up for today as expected. So 23 degrees was the high in Calgary, mid-20s for Brooks and Lethbridge and Milk River. Check that out. Medicine Hat got to 30 today. Now Medicine Hat sitting at 20. There's some active weather moving through the southeast corner right now. I'll show you that on the radar in just a second. We're at 22 in Calgary, 19 in Brooks, 25 in Drumheller. So still a lot of warmth out there. And then that's it for the rest of this week. Okay, close to 80 km/h gusts so far in Pincher Creek. Close to 90 in Lethbridge, over 70 for Medicine Hat, and in the 40s for Calgary and Brooks, and at that 50 mark for Drumheller. It's going to get even gustier. So we do have a wind warning in place. Medicine Hat up through Brooks to Strathmore, Drumheller, Coronation. These areas tonight, tomorrow, 90 km/h gusts, certainly possible. In the far southeast corner, we actually have a weather statement in place because 80 km/h gusts possible tonight through tomorrow. And there was a storm cell that just tracked through the far southeast corner, and there were reports that there were gusts in that cell, 130 km/h, but this is now dying out and tracking off into Saskatchewan at this point. But heavier rain pushing through the Medicine Hat area. Calgary, nothing yet, but it's tonight that we're supposed to get a decent rainfall. So I'm going to advance this. For the evening, late evening hours, you can see the rain in the southeast. The southeast corner is going to see the most amount of rain from this system. In Calgary, in the overnight hours is when we're looking at picking up anywhere from 3 to 5 millimeters of rain. Heavier to the south in those overnight hours towards Lethbridge. And then you can see heavy rain certainly possible even through Thursday morning. Thursday morning, though, it does clear out of Calgary. So Calgary is going to get a lot less than what we're seeing in the southeast with this system. This is system number 1. The next one arrives later on Friday, and we'll kick off with some thunderstorm activity. So just from system number 1, 12 millimeters expected for Brooks, 22 for Medicine Hat. South of Medicine Hat, where you can see this bullseye area, 30 millimeters possible, and that's tonight through tomorrow. 8 millimeters for Lethbridge, and again 3 to 5 for Calgary. All right, looking at your Action Furnace 5-day forecast, 18 is our high for tomorrow, gusts 70 km/h, and then by Friday we're looking at the next system rolling in. So Friday night 2 to 4 millimeters, Saturday another 10 millimeters, and then switching over to that mixed precipitation Saturday night through early Sunday morning. And check out your daytime highs, just 6 and 7 for Saturday and Sunday.
Still to come, the Artemis crew met the PM face-to-face in Ottawa today. It was a down-to-earth conversation about how the moon mission inspired so many people. And we'll tell you about a group effort to fund a Calgary literacy program. Those stories are still to come.
So I heard 9 and I'm like,
Newly released video shows the joyful moment the hatch of the Artemis II capsule popped open last month at the end of that 10-day space mission. One of the 4 astronauts inside, Commander Reed Wiesman, posted the recording on his social media, writing, "Hearing all the joy, it was as good as it gets." Students and the Prime Minister met with that crew of Artemis II in Ottawa today. There were smiles all around and a message about Canada's contribution to space. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more on the astronauts' tour of the capital.
We didn't really see this either because this is so cool.
It was a different kind of moon mission in Ottawa today.
I think we saw that crater.
The Artemis II crew giving Prime Minister Mark Carney and a group of students special insight into their epic 10-day lunar flyby mission. 12-year-old Louis Castro Lopez among the middle school students who got to ask the astronaut questions.
Yeah, I watched the astronauts and just to come here, like to meet our school was, wow, amazing.
Fellow 7th grader Annabelle Busby Sheridan did too, and she got to hold a piece of meteorite from the moon.
It was such a privilege. Like I never thought ever that I'd ever be able to meet them.
Splashdown confirmed.
The visit to the capital comes just over 1 month after the 4-person crew splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean.
We surpassed the furthest distance humans have ever traveled.
Following a groundbreaking mission to the far side of the moon that captured the world's attention. Canadian Jeremy Hansen getting a special thank you from Carney.
And this is the flag that flew on the day you splashed down.
Oh, wow.
Hansen's trip into outer space was his first, and it was also the furthest any Canadian astronaut has ever traveled.
Canada very much went to space, and I rode on your shoulders.
That Canadian pride on full display at each stop in the capital, where fans, young and old, were inspired to reach new heights.
I want to be the first man, and if it's possible, to walk on Mars.
The Artemis II crew will now head to Montreal, where the astronauts will share more about their thoughts on the mission at the Canadian Space Centre tomorrow. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Pets don't always grow to the size we think they will. Some stay small, others, well, they're the giants of their species. Our trending videos are next. A group of businessmen formed the Big-Hearted Mavericks 26 years ago. And together, they're making a difference for a number of nonprofit groups in our city. One of them is the PrEP Society. For 15 years, they've been contributing to its literacy program for children and young adults living with Down syndrome. Kevin Fleming reports.
First, we're going to do our book.
Jude Gosson is 12 years old and been part of the literacy program at the PrEP Society since he was 5. It's one-on-one instruction, and the lesson plan is based around the student's abilities. His mom, Kiera, says it's made a difference in Jude's reading.
I would love for him to have functional literacy, to be able to, when he's out in public, or look at a menu, look at a phone number, look at anything, and be able to respond to it and understand.
There are close to 65 students enrolled in the PrEP Society's literacy program. It began 15 years ago with a handful of students and a few $1,000s from the Big-Hearted Mavericks.
Being a nonprofit, like a lot of our programs and services would not exist without the partnership of community groups like the Mavericks, and our reading program wouldn't exist without their support.
They now have a taste on math.
Eric Wapert is out of school but is one of the young adults taking part in the program. He enjoys playing games and using an iPad in the sessions. The literacy team says its instructors have many proud moments with the students.
You see that student recognize that letter sound or read that sight word that you've been exposing them to for many, many months perhaps. It is such a special moment. It keeps us going for months.
Today, the Mavericks have fundraised more than $500,000 for PrEP. Tim Arnett says the group is made up of 25 local businessmen, and they get to see the impact they're making here.
Yeah, we're proud of what we've been able to accomplish. And once our supporters have gotten to see the success, I think there's a lot of money in Calgary from individuals and corporations that really just want to make a difference locally. And when the metrics are there to say, hey, look how many kids we're helping, it's made our job a lot easier.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The literacy program has students ranging from ages 5 to 35. All right, well, many people enjoy tapas. We love tapas, right?
Yum.
It looks a little different when you're a parent, though. Great. You know why? Because it's the toddler's tapas. You have to finish what they don't eat. So this dad's showing us it's all his son's leftovers. You just get a nibble of that,
That's
a nibble
how
of
I
this.
eat.
Yeah, you get the bottom of the muffin, you get half a banana, you get the crust of the bread because they get the nice bread.
Sharing's caring.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
Yeah, you don't want it to go to waste, so you just end up eating their leftovers.
Except don't drink their leftover drinks.
That's a good idea. That is good advice.
Chunks in there.
Yeah, I bet. Well, bunnies are generally known to be small and cute, but then there's this guy.
Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Holy.
This bunny is called Azur. It is a 1-year-old Flemish giant rabbit, the largest breed of domestic rabbits out there. We've shown one of these Flemish rabbits before on Trending. They get up to about 50 pounds. They can stretch out to about 4 feet.
It's like a dog.
It is like a dog. Just imagine how cuddly that would be, though.
So
dog
cuddly.
with big old
Oh,
ears.
that would be amazing.
Why don't we have these?
I don't know.
In the studio.
To just sit across your lap when you get cold.
Yes.
Keep you warm. Yeah. A pair of California Highway Patrol officers were definitely in the wrong place at the wrong time. Oops. So the officers had just pulled over when a Cal Fire air tanker was passing overhead, and it dumped a full load of that red fire retardant on them. They saw it coming, but they didn't have enough time to get away. There was really nowhere to run. They were good about it, though. They joked that they got the full red carpet treatment.
Oh, yeah.
They had to just take it in stride. They said, well, firefighting is unpredictable. It's a little messy, and what can you do? There's nowhere to go.
They're tough guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But how do you explain that one later when you get home?
I bet they just did have to just hose themselves down. Some Calgary teens were on the beat today. We'll tell you about this junior police academy when we return.
Skywatch weather cameras bouncing around. Yes, it's gusty already, and it's about to get even gustier. All right, let's get into this. 22 degrees is where we're sitting currently. Today's high was 23. We had 2 days in the 20s yesterday and today, and now we say goodbye to that. And temperatures are going to plummet for the rest of this week below normal. Normal is 16 for this time of year. All right, we do have a wind warning in place. Medicine Hat up through Brooks, over to Calgary, Drumheller, Coronation. 90 kilometer per hour gust possible. It's actually just to the east of Calgary. 90 kilometer per hour gust possible here. Outside of the warning, 70 to 80 kilometer per hour gusts possible. This is tonight through tomorrow. So no matter where you are looking at very windy conditions over these next 24 hours. This system mainly impacting the southeast corner with this rainfall. Already is now, will continue to be the case as we head through these next 12 to 24 hours. For Calgary specifically, we're looking at getting most of that rainfall tonight while we're sleeping. And in Calgary, picking up anywhere from 3 to 5 millimeters of rain overnight, carrying into about 7:30 in the morning. Gusts, though, will continue to pick up, so 50 kilometer per hour gusts up to 70 by the afternoon tomorrow. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace Fix Right where it's free. And when we're looking at amounts of rainfall and what we can expect, again, the southeast corner, Brooks over to Medicine Hat, south of Medicine Hat is where we're going to see the heaviest amounts of rain over this next 12 to 24 hours. Around 22 millimeters for Medicine Hat, just to the south of there, we could pick up 30 millimeters. Again, for Calgary, down to Clare's Home and down Highway 2, you're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5 millimeters. Your long weekend forecast is looking very interesting, even wet snow in it. We'll recap that in just a little bit, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. A judge has thrown out a separatist referendum petition saying Premier Daniel Smith's government had a duty to consult with First Nations. The judge says Alberta's chief electoral officer never should have issued the petition. Smith called the decision anti-democratic and says it will be appealed. A lawyer for the separatist group, Stay Free Alberta, says it also plans to appeal. Meanwhile, the organizer of the Forever Canadian petition is urging the Premier not to appeal today's court decision.
Appealing these questions and dragging Albertans through even more angst and expenses is not the right thing to do. It may be politically expedient to do, but it is not the right thing to do.
First Nations leaders are celebrating the ruling, saying it reinforces the importance of treaty rights. Getting kids interested in the skilled trades started early at a Calgary elementary school today. These kids are trying their hand at 10 different trades, including carpentry, plumbing, electrical trades, and design. The event is put on by the Calgary Construction Association and the Calgary Catholic School District. The construction industry is expecting a wave of retirements over the next decade. It's hoping some of these kids might choose to go into these fields. Organizers say the trades are changing, and now is the time to get young people interested in some of those careers. There's a big deal in a Canadian mining, a merger that will create an $18.5 billion company. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez.
Equinox Gold is buying Orla Mining in a cash and stock deal worth just over $5 billion US. Combined, the new entity would be the second largest Canadian gold producer, with 6 mines across Canada, the US, Nicaragua, and Mexico. Together, they would produce more than 1 million ounces of gold a year. But the CEO of Equinox says he aims to double output. Shareholders will vote on the deal in July. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 72.96. West Texas Intermediate down over $1 to 101.02. Western Canadian Select up over $3 to 81.43. And the TSX lost 249 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The federal government is providing $3.3 million to support crime prevention amongst Indigenous communities in Calgary.
Sadly, we know that Indigenous peoples are disproportionately represented in the justice system. That's why today I'm pleased to announce that the Government of Canada is investing in the people who know how to best support Indigenous peoples and youth, our local Indigenous organizations.
This new program, it's much more than just a service delivery program. It really is about the restoration of identity, the rebuilding of relationships, and creating safer and healthier communities.
The Urban Society for Aboriginal Youth will receive $1.25 million. That will help a project aimed at keeping Indigenous youth away from crime and gangs. The Aboriginal Friendship Centre of Calgary will receive $2.1 million to help Indigenous men and women reintegrate into the community after incarceration or probation. Students from across Calgary who are about to graduate from grade 12 experienced what it's like to be a police officer today. They attended a police academy at Heritage Park. They wore police uniforms and learned all about the realities of frontline policing. The experience gives them a taste of policing in case they're considering it as a career. Students saw demonstrations and all kinds of scenarios that police may encounter.
We have about 17 small scenarios. They range anywhere from check on welfare, noisy parties, domestics, warrants, robberies, thefts, you name it, anything that we would see in a typical day. And we have a bunch of volunteers that come out. They donate their time to this event.
About 180 students applied for the academy. Only 120 were chosen. The program may expand to meet demand in future years. For the first time, a Canadian team will be PWHL champs. Montreal will face Ottawa in the Walter Cup final. Glenn has those details for us next. For the first time in its history, the PWHL will have a new champ. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, the Montreal Victoire saw to that last night.
Tara, Montreal beat the Minnesota Frost 2-1 in the fifth and deciding game of their series last night. The Frost were the only team to ever win a championship. They were the two-time defending champs. And what that means is Montreal will now face the Ottawa Charge in the Walter Cup final. The Charge got past Boston Fleet to secure their spot in their second straight final. It's the first time we've had an all-Canadian matchup in the final, and the two teams raring to go. It should be a fantastic championship.
We know that there's one step left, and it's going to be the hardest step, but super proud of this group. And I think, just like you said, as a Canadian, it's pretty exciting. I think for Canadian hockey fans, there's a good rivalry between our fan bases with how close we are. So I think just really exciting, and we're looking forward to puck drop tomorrow.
We're really proud of how resilient we were as a group, how much character we showed, and how much we were able to get that game 5 yesterday at home. And then now it's time to refocus and get ready for game 1 tomorrow.
Yeah, game 1 tomorrow night in Laval, Quebec. Well, not a great day to be head coach in the NHL. This morning, the Toronto Maple Leafs relieved Craig Berube of his duties. The Stanley Cup winner lasted only a couple of seasons behind the Toronto bench. No replacement has been named, and it sounds like the Edmonton Oilers may be parting ways with Chris Knobloch. Nothing official yet. That certainly is the talk going around, and people are saying it could happen as early as today. Calgary Stampeders made some cuts yesterday, and a few of the names stand out. Local product Max von Muhldorfer, he was let go by the team. Also getting their walking papers, veteran offensive lineman Rodine Brown and Kalen St. Cyr. They were with the team for the last couple of years. St. Cyr, a former first-round pick, 4th overall by the Stamps in 2024. Tonight on Golf Tips, hitting that shot over the bunker. We've all had it hit the sand, but why? Scott has that tip on the par 5 13th.
Mackenzie Meadows Golf Tips with PGA Pro Scott Orban.
One of the old trees went down, eh?
Well, we got these two stalwart old trees. One still standing. Unfortunately, this one came down. The old girl went down this past windstorm. Started to see it leaning, but we're going to come over here to the 13th and we're going to take a shot and Glenn just stand over there. I'm going to show everybody a common mistake with these shots. A lot of golfers will have a strong grip, and they might even get a little stronger. So what is a strong grip? Basically, I'm taking my hands and I'm rotating them so my right hand's a little more under the club. That's going to promote a closed club face. So when I do this and I start to swing and my club is coming through, it starts to close the club face. So on a shot like this, you're thinking, I got to swing, hit it high in the air. You can see this visualizer doesn't have it going high in the air. So you got to become really familiar with your golf club. Glenn, come and set your club on this rod over here.
Oh, right here, sure.
Okay, so when he sets that down there, you know, we'll see a lot of golfers with this, and they'll even start it with a little close because they're looking at the top line. And if you're looking at this top line, and I put that club, that visualizer, you can see that's that closed club face coupled with the grip I told you about to watch for. These aren't flying high over this. So go ahead and set up to the ball, Glenn. I want you to use a little weaker grip than you normally do. All right, we see that you have a nice square club face. And go ahead, make a swing, make us proud. Not bad.
Not bad. Got it.
Easy shot. But there's a couple things you got to watch for. Watch for how you're setting up. Put down a rod, see what it looks like. You're looking at that leading edge, and little visualizer is good, but don't swing with the visualizer. Oh, this one's going in.
Oh,
it's going in.
Yeah.
2026 is going to be one heck of a year. Glenn Campbell, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, next week, Scott gives us a tip on how to hit that flop shot.
You won't be golfing this whole long weekend.
No, definitely not Saturday. Monday, maybe a bit of Sunday afternoon. Yeah, it's an interesting long weekend for us. But when is May long weekend never interesting?
It's always like this.
All right. Okay, first system that we're dealing with is tonight in Calgary. So picking up about 3 millimeters of rain, up to 5 millimeters while we're sleeping, carrying into about 7:30 tomorrow morning. Then the clouds will slowly clear out, but very windy tomorrow all day, up to 70 kilometers per hour. The next system will kick off as isolated showers and thunderstorms Friday afternoon. Friday night in through Saturday, heavy rain at times, picking up to 10 millimeters on Saturday. And then if you can see your overnight lows Saturday night, around that freezing mark, that's why we may even switch to a little bit of wet snow with that will carry into early Sunday morning. Things clear out Sunday afternoon, but it will be cool. Oh boy. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Duffy Pruin sent this one in, taken in Saddle Ridge Pond on Wednesday.
Pretty shot. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.